a traumatic accident. She fell in the creek, 15 feet deep, and busted her liver. At that point, I didn't know how to act because that was my sister. So she was my mom as well. So she taught me a lot at a young age. I didn't understand mental health then, so I didn't understand what I was going through or how do I combat losing somebody that was so profound in my life that had a stronghold on me and made sure I went to school, made sure I knew how to read and write, made sure I was advanced before I even got to the next grade. So losing her was damaging, and I be starting to act out even more after losing her, going through a lot of phases. And it wasn't until I went to prison that I acknowledged the fact that I had a trauma event in my life, uh, and that I needed to deal with her death. I didn't know how to deal with her death. And after studying psychology, it teaches us that those who act out is dealing with something rooted in us that we have to scream for help in those unusual situations, um, through our behavior, through our conversation, whether it be in school, acting up. So these was key signs that I missed, that my parents missed, because we wasn't understanding or had an understanding what mental health looked like in kids or youth or anything, especially in the black community. We was taught to always bottle up our emotions inside. People die all the time. That's just a way of life. But these events tend to impact us, impact our mental so far to the point where we start acting out and losing control of who we are at that point in time, would turn us to using drugs, would turn us to gangs, and so on for when we in the street life. So having an opportunity to get to know myself whilst I was in prison, and just diving into me, and going to school for 7 years for mental health allowed me to really deal with what I now found out had PTSD, not only from my sister event, but also from watching my homie die right in front of me. So that was another traumatic experience that I had, that I would continue to act out into the street life, into becoming in a part of the gang, and I'm saying running around with guns and selling drugs and stuff to revenge somebody's death. At that point, I was going through a mental health crisis. I just say no that at that point until I got to prison and started dealing with me.
Yeah, it's so much to unpack in what you just said and what you in your story and in your journey, man. And you had a huge transformation from just your pure understanding in the gravity and what was happening internally within your own self from experiencing your sister's death. That's something that's just very near and dear to you. I can relate to that, having lost my brother to heart failure. He was my younger brother, and I had only got to know him for just a very short time, and I didn't get a chance to process that until later on. Like I'm thinking like, okay, I only knew him for like a few years, so it ain't gonna bother me, But as the years went on, like, man, that's deep. Grief is really hard to process, and as you mentioned, especially in our community, the Black community, we try to push it underneath the rug, and we need to bring this stuff on top of the rug and really look at it for what it is.
Right.
And violence is something that is happening every day. And we get it pushed in our faces on news stories, or we get it pushed in our faces in the music. And I gotta applaud you, brother, for standing on the front lines and saying that like this just doesn't happen, on the video games and on the war field, where I was at, because I had to take it out of my own bias and say like, okay, this ain't just happening to veterans. This is happening, to everyday people, and we need to reach out to everybody, So that brings me to say, and to talk about like why the youth, why emphasize investing in our youth.
Man, the youth is our future.
Okay.
And coming from where I come from, the South, they have always invested in the youth somehow, some way.
Mhm.
It's always been whether Friday Night Lights was something huge in the South for basketball, football, or any sports. Like it was always a stronghold to dedicate to the next generation. And I think that we have lost our sight on the youth, which is going to usher us into the next generation. And so the youth is very important today. They in a dying need of help and some
Right.
form of guidance. And if we lose this window, we'll lose the youth.
Mhm.
And I say this strongly because I was a lost youth. I choose to be lost and not incline my ears to a lot of things. Now having the opportunity to reach back and tap into the youth is strong to me, and I strongly believe in investing in our future now, heavy more than ever. Is like you said, we turn on the news. It's so many young people getting killed.
Right.
The graveyard is so full of so many young people today. It used to be like we go to funeral for older people,
Yeah.
but now we have been to so many funerals for younger people, and it's sad that we are in a time and we are in a season where we got to keep on burying our young people, especially in a black community. You know, we like to say Black Lives Matter a lot, but at what point do a child life matter when it's black on black crime violence? And I believe we lose sight of that in today's society because we saying it's okay to protest only with certain things happening, but it's not okay to protest like when another black man kill another black man or when another black person suppress another black person. These are things have infected our youth in our community today. We have seriously lost sight and we have become blind to the direction that we head in, especially in a black community. Now, we can talk about every community, but our specific aim is our black community at this point because it have turned so bad that people don't even speak to people no more. Older people just can't say hi without getting a dirty look. I can't blow my horn at you for cutting me off
Right.
without fear of getting shot. These are things that's happening. And I believe these things are happening not only for the misguided, but let's take a look at the mental health that triggered into this.
Yeah.
So at some point in a household, something was done or something happened, they just seen something that caused this reaction to allow them to believe this is just a good way of life.
Yeah.
You know, we don't wake up just want to kill somebody. And you can't tell me, you can't go to one person in the whole world to tell me I want to be mistreated. I want to mistreat somebody because we was born to love. And I think that's what we need to understand, that we was born to love. Our everything else was taught. We was taught how to hate people. We was taught how to mistreat people. We was taught how to be disobedient. We was taught these things. And the lack of guidance, and for us black young men, sometimes it's a lack of not having a father in our life because a woman can only teach a man so much. It takes a man to have a clear understanding with his son. And this has been the poster child of the black community for many decades.
Right.
Many decades. You know what I'm saying? And not just that, but drug infested neighborhoods, meaning people are strung out. Is a reason why they're strung out. Everything leads back to the mental health. People just don't pick up drugs because they're having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't smoke weed because life is all peachy. It's something that we covering up
Exactly.
that we need to deal with. And the more we smoke this weed, the more we put these chemicals in our body, the less likelihood is we deal with what we need to deal with. And our kids see that. So they mimicking that. So as they mimic what we doing, they develop what called a emotionally defense system where they don't have to deal with nothing. Now you take them out their emotional defense system, Now they lack the emotional intelligence to understand that they're going through something. Now they got this emotional defense system, which is dangerous. And a lot of people don't understand what that is. And let me explain what the emotional defensive system is. That we become numb to a lot of things. We become numb to the lady next door getting beat. That's none of my business. We become numb to the lady across the street getting shot, or the man in that alley getting beat because he don't have money for crack. We become numb to the our kids talking crap in school when they supposed to be in there to learn school. We become numb to this, so we don't deal with this stuff. We don't discipline or have a discipline system set in for our kids. So that's why today it's time for us to change that narrative when it comes to the youth.
Right.
We must change that narrative when it comes to the youth and deal with them accordingly and let them know you can go through things. It's okay to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have moments where you just don't feel all right. As we were talking before off air, people got to go through something to get somewhere.
Yes.
But now it's time for us, the older generation, to usher in some type of compromise with the youth. You know what I'm saying? Let's teach them about God. Let's have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? It's time for they kids. No, it's not about them being kids, because them kids gonna grow up to be adults. These kids will grow up to be adults who will flip and playing up on our community as we just say, oh, they just kids, or they just boys, or they're dudes, girls, they just do that. No, that's not how it's worked. And the more we become knowledgeable of these situations and of things, the more we'll be able to tackle it, the more we'll bring awareness to this. And I think that as a man of God, that we need to implicate God into our plan.
Yes.
Because we can't do it by ourselves. Mm-hmm. It takes somebody higher than us to get this done. And God have did miracles in my life. And I'm sitting here because of him.
Absolutely.
So I thank God that I'm able to not only sit here and talk to you and discuss something I'm so passionate about, but also be on the front line to being very active in this. And that's all about tapping into our youth.
You really gave us some golden gems, man. Like literally golden gems that we can, pick up and really run away with. Anyone who missed some of the nitty gritty of what you were talking early in that piece just now, they really missed out, because I'm going to reiterate it. You spoke about the importance of education in there and awareness, and in the early part of that you talked about emotional intelligence and how that's one of the unique challenges that these youths are facing, because it's learned. That most of that is learned, okay, and if emotional intelligence isn't taught, they, like you said, they put up these emotional defenses and they start developing these bad habits, these nasty habits to put a blanket over some of the things that's really troubling them, from these induced traumas. And it's a really bad situation. It's very, for me, I find it very fascinating, because that's a challenge in itself, because I often wonder, how do you begin to address that, and I started wondering, how long would it take to kind of reverse some of those blanketed emotional defenses that they have begin to kind of pile on, Because I know for adults it can take even longer, because and I think that's why some people just say, okay, well, let's just go to kids, but with kids they so impressionable, and it got so many things being thrown in their faces with social media and with peer pressure and with other things that's like constantly influencing them. Like it's being thrown at them, and it's gonna be it's an ongoing job, you know. And I think you got a much tougher job than not to, you know, because with an adult you can just grab them, like, you know, and just continue to mentor them. And an adult going, you know, they're gonna catch it. You know, I mean, they're gonna be a little stubborn, you know, but like once you know, kick them in the butt, you know, you can be very aggressive with an adult, you know. But with a kid, you know, it's quite delicate. You can lose them, you know. So do you find that is like one of the toughest challenges to really, you know, work with them ongoing?
I find it challenging. But one thing about kids, we gotta know that, you know, say they sponges. So when you take a kid out their comfort zone, they more be inclined to listen to you.
Yeah.
Instead of like having it with their homies or, you know what I'm saying, with their home girls, like they'd be put up a front, you know. But when you take them by themselves, you take them out to lunch, you take them somewhere and really like, you know what I'm saying, incline your words to them. And you know what I'm saying, they'll listen, they're a sponge. And like it's all about planting the seed, you know, and doing this work, man, with any type of work that's positive and it's, you know what I'm saying, about God, um, it's all about trusting that process.
Yeah.
You know, believe in your process and trust the process. God don't guide you. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta worry about who you can or cannot reach, because you know what I'm saying, those who God want to be reached will be reached. You know, and it take a little when dealing with youth because they are stubborn. But I learned over the years that it don't matter who you deal with, we got to meet them at their level. And I think that's uncomfortable for a lot of people who want to change the narrative. They're not willing to meet people at their level and help them. You know, I have a saying that I refuse to decrease for you to increase. I'm gonna increase, you gonna increase. And I'm willing to meet anybody at that level because I know God got my back. And I'm not worried about falling back into the trenches.
Right.
That's my last concern about worrying and going back. I'm gonna meet you at the level because I believe that it's potential in your life, and I wanna pull you out them trenches. So as an advocate, we must meet them at their level. You know what I'm saying? If that's, you know what I'm saying, going to buy a couple pair of Jordans and playing basketball with them, or you know what I'm saying, just hanging out with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't be stubborn and think like, man, I can't go into those places. You know, no, you can go into those places if you solid and see where you at in life, and you know that you're not worried about getting pulled back into those areas. You don't have nothing to worry about. And I think some people have the notions of, I don't want to go into those areas. That's where we came from.
Right.
We came from the trenches. We came from them areas. So let's go back and pull somebody else. Like as we become billionaires, it's not about keeping everything. It's about pulling chairs up at the table for other people. Right. And that's what about the youth. So I find it intriguing. To me personally, it's intriguing. It's tough, but it's intriguing because it's allowed me to not only go back, but allow me to identify with their struggles and allow me to meet them and watch them grow. And that's the beautiful part of it. Watching the youth who thought they was lost. And I said who thought they was lost because they never lost. They didn't think that.
Yeah.
And to have that ability to go back and meet them on that level is tremendous. It's the same thing with mentoring adults. And I had a great opportunity to be schooled, and I say school because this brother Bam, who's serving some time in prison right now, he helped me become who I am today. And I owe him a lot of credit for my humbleness, my thankfulness, that attitude I had towards life. Taught me how to shut up sometimes and don't say nothing. Just observe and then action. Because if you truly about what you're doing, you don't always gotta be spoke on. You gonna go out there and do it. So I had an opportunity one time to mentor this one brother, and he was going through tremendous waters, and he kept on falling back. But every time he'd fall back because he'd go back with the wrong people. And he's just so stubborn. He was just so stubborn. So I met him on his level. I checked myself into segregation. I met him down there on his level. Just after me years of doing this segregation, I decided to put myself back in segregation to go meet him on his level, to go meet him in his environment. And doing that, I showed him that, listen, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to, the little freedom I got in prison, I'm willing to sacrifice all that just to see how can I help you. So that was like one of the very turning points in my life when I knew that I was really serious about what I was serious about, because it allowed me to now meet people at their level. Because I always tell people it's not about me, it's about what I could do for you. Mm-hmm. And I would keep on doing that, because the greatest service you can give to somebody is the service to others. That's the best thing you can do for somebody, be a service to others. So I'm a key believer in meeting you at your level, trusting the process, and allow you to bloom into the man or woman that God wants you to bloom into. It's all about trusting the process. And I think as advocates, as preachers, as men and women on this earth, we got to trust the process. And sometimes we say, man, I'm trusting the process, but it's getting too hard. So we make up excuses like the bills had to get paid, so I go sell drugs. Or I couldn't take it no more, so I gave a drink. Or I smoked some weed. It's okay. No, certain things is not just okay. Yeah. Trust the process. We gonna trust the process, and we gonna tap into our process. We gonna tap into our calling. Then let's do it. It's like we don't need to keep on dipping a thing in the tea. We can let the tea just sit there and let it marinate. And some of us, man, we keep on dipping. We want to keep on dipping because of our image. Right. You know, a lot of people like, man, why do you go to your name? Because that's the name I was given. Mm-hmm. I go by this name because that's the name. I don't want to dip back into my old life. So I would never use that name again. Yeah. So, and that's my thing, man. Trust the process. The process is going to happen. The storm's going to come. That's the beauty of part. That's your testimony, going through the storms, allowing the sun to rest on your face and allowing yourself to be able to tell somebody, this is what I went through. But also, man, let me reach back. Let me reach back. And I'm all about reaching back. I'm trying to tap into every youth I can tap into. Mm-hmm. I know I ain't going to save every youth. I know everybody ain't going to come along. Right. But that don't give me a reason to say stop or pick and choose who I tap into. You want to be stubborn, I'm going to be stubborn with you. I'm going to meet you at that level because that's what I'm about.
I like that, man. And that's beautifully put in. It really shapes the picture of what Christ's work looked like, and how Christ was able to not compromise who he was, as the Messiah, and how he was the Savior for us, and how we're supposed to walk in His way. That's beautiful, man, and I really like that a lot. You really paint a beautiful picture of how we should follow in the process. I think it's very, very hard for a lot of people to trust this ongoing process of transformation. It's really hard to see yourself trending upward. A lot of times people think that they're trending downward. When they are healing, they and we talked about this about like pain versus suffering. Mm-hmm. They, once you start working with a person, they'll say, "Oh man, I didn't bump my head," and like you said, they just because they didn't bump their head a little bit, they'll go right back to smoking weed, or they'll go and okay, I gotta go sell a little bit of this, or I gotta go to that strip club, or I gotta hang out with the guys, and and do this, do that. They'll compromise themselves, and we gotta put that message out that there's a difference between suffering and pain, and you figured out the Rubik's cube to that. I think one of the biggest questions that I have is about your main goal in this interview. You know, about becoming an asset to the movement. You know, can you elaborate on how you envision making your your most significant contribution to that movement?
Man, just being a man of God that God called me to be,
Mm-hmm.
and never deviating from that. You know, always staying the course. I'm always gonna trust the process, and I know I got some uphill battles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know some storms gonna come. You know, and that's all about me staying tapped in.
Yeah.
And I know you like, man, this better saying tap in. I tap in. You know, I'm always tapped in, man, because I don't want not to be tapped in. So anyway, my service can be used to anybody. You know, hey, I'm open. If I can help one person and I can help this one person for 30 years, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm tapped into the process, as long as I let God continue to use me, and however it may be, embarking on a pastor journey, being a youth ministry, just having the ability to work with kids, man, just having the ability to have fun again. You know, kids make you feel young, so I'm excited about that. But kids also can make you feel old. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm excited about
you
that.
Can't keep up with them.
Yeah, but I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
So, man, my thing, my angle is just to stay on the course. Don't deviate from who I am as a person. Don't deviate from my calling that God put on my life, but also do not turn my back on the youth. They're in a dying season right now, and it's time that we act, and we must act fast. You know, I'm tired of seeing young people dying. I'm tired of seeing young people going into the courtroom and they dying in prison because they getting 80 years, because they getting life. You know, I'm tired of that. You know, being in the prison system and seeing that. Man, it used to hurt my heart seeing young people come in with so much time, and they finally there. They don't know how to conduct themselves because when they was doing a crime, they was on drugs. So they weren't fully aware of what they was doing, but yet the system still sent them to prison.
Yeah.
So that lit a fire under me. That lit a fire under me, you know what I'm saying, from a mental health and seeing them deteriorate so fast. And people think that kids going to prison or they get on the phone, they talking fine, but when they hang up that phone or when that visit over, you know what I'm saying, they crying.
Yeah, they go straight to their cell. I didn't see it.
So it's sad how fast they deteriorate, how fast that they mind go, how fast that they hook on pharmaceutical drugs, you know, and it's pain for me to understand they pain. You know, I didn't go through what they went through. You know, I had some good brothers that pulled me up. I had my education to lean back on, you know, but some people don't. So that's why I'm here today. That's why I need to be front and center, that I need to tap into our youth even more. If nobody else do it, you can bet Monzell don't do that, because I believe in our youth. I believe that those souls are meant for greatness. We was born to be kings and queens. We weren't born to be numbered in prison. We weren't, you know what I'm saying? Of course we was born to die, but we weren't born to die the way we died. That's got to stop. We weren't born to disrespect our elders. We weren't born to disrespect our mothers. I see so many people disrespecting their queens, and sometimes I be like, dang, are you kidding? Are you serious? No, I tell my wife about it. Like, that's just how it is. But it don't gotta be like this. It don't gotta be like this. And that's why my goal, my ultimate goal, is to touch as many youths as I can. And they only got to be you. Touch as many people as I can because they are part of my process too. But I am very strong focused on the next generation that's going to be our preachers, that's going to be our lawyers, that's going to be our doctors, that's going to be our presidents, that's going to be sit on the city council, that's going to be, you know what I'm saying, our mayors, they're going to be the police force, you know. I tap into that. I got to tap into that, you know, and we got to tap into the police force. We got to let them know, man, you know, it's okay if something happens. You can go to the police, you know. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that, you know. And we got to keep training our police force for mental health.
Yeah, it's a lot of them affected by mental health. People
We got to
not understand.
We got to train. We got to train better, and we got to make sure that they career with the right mental to do it. So that is a process that is a whole circle that we need to tap into to ensure the mental health of our community.
Right. Yeah. You know, I want to transition to something a little bit light, you know, and I want to like kind of let the audience in on something, you know, about you, man. That like I was just you know, strikingly impressed by, man. You know, just that's something that happened today. You know, like it's just about you just showing up today, man. You know, and it's just evidential to me, you know, about your work. You know, Monzell was here on time. He was 30 minutes on time today, and that just impressed me, man. And I just wanted to share that with the audience, man. And like I like edifying my brothers, you know when they can be here, extra early. And he put me on my toes today. Because I'm going to get out the door, I had my book bag, and he called me. You know, I had to buzz him in, and and I came to the door. He's sharp too, man. So like he actually here at studio. It may look like that he not, but he actually here at studio. So shout out to Monzell, you know, and what he's doing, and like. You know, so Monzell, like outside of like what you do, you know, with your work, is there, you know, any particular hobbies or interests that you do, man? Like, you know, that you think that you do for fun, man?
No, I ball. I haven't balled in a while, but I ball, work out.
Okay.
You know, I'm a big goofy, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I get around the wife, grandkids. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a big old kid. You know what I'm saying? I play with them. You know what I'm saying? And I've just got a lot of energy. You know, so that's what I do, man. You know, I just have fun. I enjoy life. You know. People say, it's good to be alive, but it's great to live, man. So living is like, man, I just live. Like, I enjoy living. I enjoy having fun. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy laughing. That's what I do. So a lot of people think, like, that's all man, you funny, you goofy, you know. And I like making people laugh because, you know what I'm saying, seeing the brightness come out of people is a positive. It's positive. So that's what I do, man. Work out, play ball, and goof around with the grandkids.
Okay. Did you happen to catch the women's NCAA Final Four? Like, you know.
Man, I caught the first quarter. I caught the first quarter when what's her name was going crazy. She put 18 points up. Yeah. You know, it hurt me that she couldn't get that title, man. Like
she put on the impressive season, man. I was real like, man, like I was real impressed with like the women's collegiate level this season. Like it really like stood out this season. Like, you know, like I had to like really like, you know, step back outside of myself and say, man.
Yeah, man, you know, man, I was impressed how Paige from UConn came back after that gross foot injury. Yeah. You know, she came back with a vengeance. She came back and she humbled herself so much doing that loss against Iowa. You know, I just kept on. I was on my phone. I kept on looking at some of the clips, and it was a missed call. However they want to dress it up, you know. I'm saying they won. Iowa won. Let's give credit to Iowa for, you know what I'm saying, doing what they do. But to show humbleness, man, you know, it take it. You know what I'm saying. Paige came back. She had a tremendous season, but man, Iowa wasn't no joke, man. They deserved to win, and they was. South Carolina just wanted them more. The dogs came out of them.
Them girls down south, they really
Yeah, so I'm interested to see. The men got a lot to live up to tonight. They got a man. UConn and Purdue got a lot to live up to because yesterday, man,
everybody was tuned in.
Man, like it was so much crazy just how that young lady packed the stadium. They came to see her.
Yeah.
Is you know what I'm saying? From last year when they was in the LSU, when the LSU and Iowa was in it, and you look at her these two championships that she was in, and you can look at it for years that it was never this packed.
Like that.
This is a first round draft pick we're talking about. This is an iconic person that the world need to see on the level that she on. It's gonna be a while before you come through like that.
Yeah, ain't gonna another woman like that.
So she really, and I admire her to stay and finish and graduate from college. I admire her for that because she could have easily went to the WNBA and left early, but she stayed the course. She was hungry. She wanted to finish that story. Yeah. She didn't do it, man. I thought she was doing it because, man, either towards the end of the first quarter, man, she hit that three. I looked at my wife and said, yeah, she 18 points in the first quarter.
That's crazy.
The team only had 27. Man,
40 on LSU,
man, you going crazy. Like I had my TV set just to watch all the Iowa games. Like I had to tune in. I had, and I'm a Duke fan. I'm a Duke fan.
Yeah, you made your comment about your favorite team.
Listen, I didn't watch not one Duke game this year. Yeah. Not one Duke. Yeah. I watched more Iowa games than I watched Duke. And me, the pastor, and some of the brothers from the church, we was at Buffalo Wild Wings a few weeks back watching Iowa. Out of everybody, we was watching Iowa. So, I think it's the same day the Bucks was on TV. So, like, man, Buffalo Wild Wings got streams everywhere. Can you put Iowa game right here? Yeah, so, Clark, man, she's a one of the, she's special. And I hope her and I wish her nothing but the best that she going to the WNBA and she make her mark and build that because she's a different animal.
Yeah, she's a different type of special, man. But that, I think that's something that like our young women needed. So like, and shout out to Angel Reese too, but she get that attitude in check.
Yeah,
get that attitude in check.
Yeah, she gotta learn how to humble.
Yeah,
she gotta learn how to humble herself. Like
because our young black women need that. But get your attitude in check.
Yeah, get it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing that I disliked about Miss Reese is her attitude, the way she played the game, and the way she treated her opponents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, that's not cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not, ain't no sportsmanship.
Right.
In nothing like that. So I didn't watch none of the LSU game. Only LSU game since she been there that I watched was the championship last year.
Yeah, that was the only one.
And you know what I'm saying? And I give my hats to LSU, you know what I'm saying, for winning that championship. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to their head coach who deserved it. You know what I'm saying? She definitely deserved it. But man, our black women sometimes like they don't know how to lose. And I believe Cody said something that everybody need to know. You gotta learn how to lose before you win. And that's an analogy for life. That's an analogy for everything.
That's it.
We gotta learn how to lose before we win. So, and that will make Clark so great. She know how to lose. So when she get to win it, because she was winning until she came to college. So now that she understands how to lose, her complexity of the complex of the game and her IQ of the game is going sky high because she understands the value of losing. Now, I don't think that a lot of players understand the value of losing, especially our black women. They get angry so much when they lose. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't get angry, just cry. It's okay to cry, but you know what I'm saying? Being able to understand a loss, being able to value the loss and come back better It's great, man, because you may come back better and you don't win. Look at Clark. She came back better this year and still didn't win the chip. So just shout out to her, man. Shout out to Iowa for a great year that they had, man. They had one of the outstanding guards that we seen in 2 decades.
Yeah.
In 2 decades. So I'm grateful to be able to be living and say like, man.
Witness that. Yeah, but we can take that same, same like I love that, man. I don't want to cliffhanger off of what you just said. Learning how to lose, man, so you can win. And I think that's a real good mental health um, tool that we can start using too. And being that like mental health affects everyone in some way. I think that's real good, man, and how we can address mental health in our community.
Yeah.
Is there any specific programs or initiatives like that you are involved in, or like looking to get involved in that address mental health in our community?
We just looking at the top, you know what I'm saying, do what we need to do for anybody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, the church through the church.
Okay.
But it is a lot
you want to shout the church out?
Yeah, well, like church, man, we love you, man.
All right.
But you know what I'm saying, we is connected to a new organization. Especially I want to shout out to Hope and Partner in Hope right here in Milwaukee, right there on 3rd and North Avenue. Brother Phil, Brother Adams, Brother Frank, all of us, there's some sisters down there, and that is a good group of people down there, man. And I actually had an opportunity to go through that program when I got released from prison. And they say 17 steps to save your life. Not only save it, but change it. And man, if y'all get an opportunity to go down there, they got Wednesday nights huddle every Wednesday night. They bring the community together, police officer, everybody. Just tell about your day, your week, what you going through. And they serious about, you know what I'm saying, the mental health. They serious about the change in the community. They serious about changing fellas into greatness, you know what I'm saying? So they is a stronghold down there. So I had a great opportunity to work with them and really, you know what I'm saying, be front center what they do. And man, a lot of people would be impressed about how great these people is. So shout out to them.
Okay. And you mentioned the 17 steps, and I think those are real good. But what are some practical things our listeners can do to promote mental well-being for themselves, for the loved ones, and for the communities? Because, like, man, we know, like I said, man, mental health affects everyone in some way.
Man, just pay attention. When something's saying wrong, then it must be wrong. Somebody say they all right, just keep on checking in on them because they might don't be all right. Sometimes we use the analogy, I'm good. That have been too much of a cliche that, hey, I need help.
Right.
And some people just don't. That's their way of saying out. So just being attentive to people behavior, your loved ones' behavior, you know them well. So watch what they say, how they start acting, their actions, their words, their behavior, and even how well do they go to work? Because that's a key point. Sometimes, like we have people that go to work every time, then they just laxy daisy about work. That could be a key sign that something going on. And it could be either some further, it could be domestic violence in the home. It could be some type of neglect in the home, or some type of form of drug use. So let's really pay attention until those around us, their behavior, your neighbors, get out, man, have conversations with people because you never know what somebody will go through. But always be alert. Be alert to people ways and anything. And you just out and about, be alert to, don't be just sitting on your phone, texting on your phone. Be alert because we can see things. And sometimes, man, something saying wrong, that means it's wrong. Right. We not always right, but it's okay to check to make sure. We ain't profiling nobody. We just making sure that people are safe. And that's the key thing in our communities that we need to start doing, be more active with each other and checking in on each other. Because we already feel like people don't care. So that's my thing. So I encourage people to not only be aware of your loved ones, be aware of your friends' actions, their behavior, their thinking, um, either they social media posts, you know what I'm saying? Because some people use that as an outlet to crowd for help. So let's stay tuned into our loved ones' social media and help manage them. And when they say something crazy on social media, because sometimes it's out the norm, and they think it's the norm. When you start thinking something at normal that is abnormal, then we have a serious problem we need to address. So don't take a blind eye to it. Use your confidence to what you need to do. Focus on yourself. Keep your mental rep tight, and also help the next person.
I love it. I love it. So, like, if people want to get in touch with you, man, or if they want to, tap in, how can they do that?
Man, they can hit me up through my email, Monzell, Monzell, Goodman, Goodman 86 at gmail.com. Or people can hit me up on Instagram, just Monzell Goodman. Uh, that's how they get in contact with me.
Good. All right, and we putting that right there if you're watching live. And shout out to everyone who's watching live. We having a conversation with Monzell Goodman, man, straight out of Racine. Came down to Milwaukee here in the Transformative headquarters studio to chat with us on the Transformative Live show. Man, this has been a amazing conversation, brother. You got any other shout outs or anything else you want to let the people know before we get to the last expression of gratitude to our beautiful audience today?
Man, just y'all continue to please be active in our youth life, man. Please keep on being aware of the mental health. And if you struggle with mental health, please just reach out to somebody. It's okay to get some help. Don't keep it to yourself. You're not going through it by yourself. There's many people out here who are willing to help you. And you know somebody that's going through a hard time or trying to commit suicide, please dive into that hotline, the suicide prevention hotline, and let's get them the help they need. Anybody who on a barker want to change their life, man, it's change. Change come easy because change come within, man. It's the work that you got to do that make you stay changed. So continue doing the right thing. Get God in your life, man. God love y'all. God visited junkyard every day. I was all junk. He made me a masterpiece. So I'm thankful that. Shout out to my wife, Melissa, man. I love you, babe, for backing me this whole time and being my greatest supporter. Appreciate you.
All right. Monzell, thank you for your candor and your dedication. Your work is undoubtedly, making a difference in the lives of countless individuals. And listeners, I hope this conversation has highlighted the importance of open dialogue and support when it comes to mental health. If you or someone you know needs help, there are some resources. I will provide them in the episode description, in the playback. Let's keep the conversation going and break the stigma. Share your thoughts on this episode and how we can best invest in our collective mental health. Use the hashtag TransformULive. That's the letter U live. Monzell, your perspective is so valuable, and I love to capture your immediate thoughts about this experience. I hope you'll be open to a recording for a short audio clip right after we finish, giving your honest feedback on the interview. So we can really use it to, further the message and the importance of the conversation. And of course, if you're living with PTSD, mental health, the constant exhaustion of it. So until next time, I'm Marcus Hart. Many blessings, peace, and lots of love. We are out.